Welcome, everybody. It's another golf vlog. We're just going to get right into it. That was my tee shot on the very first hole. Pulled it really bad onto this left hill. I had something like 230 yards into a strong headwind and completely caught this one on the bottom of the club face. Not very solid contact. By the way, it is soaking wet out on this course, and so the ball is just hitting and stopping. This was a poor wedge shot. My short game lately has just been atrocious, and I really have to just get out there, make a video of me working on my short game, because I usually consider my short game to be the best part of my game, and it right now is currently the worst, and that's not acceptable to me. What you're going to see here is a prime example of how not to start a round. So, pulled tee shot, virtually a topped second shot, terrible wedge shot for recovery. Leave myself about 4 feet, and check this. Missed it. Missed it low from 4 feet. Ridiculous. So on the second hole here, I'm trying to come back from that, and I'll give myself this. I hit a very comfortable little bullet cut into this wind, but because it's a cut, and it ballooned, it ended up on the far right side of the fairway, and it only went like, 230 yards. So I just decided to lay up on this hole. So I'm hitting an 8-iron here, just trying to get it past that tree, because anything beyond that tree is, 130 yards and in. And if I remember off the top of my head, I had about like 119 yards into this left to right wind, so I hit like a 3/4 pitching wedge and caught it very, very clean. That was a really solid swing for me. I know it's hard to tell the difference, but, as they say, golf is a game of inches. I actually landed on the front of the green here, and it spun about 9 feet back and off the green. And although I don't end up making this putt, I put a very good stroke on it. And on a slightly warmer day, this ball probably would have been 8 feet past. But because it was so wet and I was putting from off the green, that's what we got. Okay, so this one, every now and then, I like to hit a big, like, Arnold Palmer or, like, Bubba Watson-esque cut shot. So I'll do this weird helicopter finish here. And, I mean, it was so windy, and it was dead left to right on this hole on the tee shot, that I was like, screw it. I'm just going to try to ride the wind. Maybe if I catch the wind, I'll gain distance. I was wrong. Pulled it. So, once again, par 4. I'm laying up, folks. I mean, that rough is so deep. A couple of times throughout this round, you'll see me whiff a shot. That was basically a whiff. That was an 8-iron that went about 120 yards. And now I'm hitting a pitching wedge from the same distance. I remember I chunked and pulled this, and it's a good thing that I did, because this ended up pin high with a crap ton of spin. And I probably should have hit a gap wedge, maybe even a 52 degree if I could have caught it solid, but today was just not my day. My lag putting at the start of this round was kind of atrocious. This is one of the few decent ones. I put it to about 6 inches and went ahead and tapped in here. Mediocre at best. A lot of bogeys this round. A lot of bogeys. A lot of missed opportunities. Not very good play. 195 yards. This is actually a 2-iron and way too much club, luckily, because I hit it incredibly thin. But even though I hit it thin, the wind is strong enough right to left. You don't see it, but it ends up about pin high. And I chipped up to about 4 or 5 feet and made the putt for par. All right, so this one was straight downwind, so I'm like, I'm going to give it a rip. And I actually caught it pretty damn good. That is my look of being pleased. See, I only had about 210 yards or something like that with a dead right to left wind. And so I hit a 4-iron and hit, honestly, a really, really great low rising draw. But it unfortunately caught the green side bunker and trickled in there. Then I actually hit a pretty good bunker shot, but the wind, as you can see, is now dead downwind because I'm even with the pin now. And the wind just caught that. A lot of spin. Still got caught in the wind. This was not a confident stroke. None of these strokes really were. I mean, this front 9 altogether was just kind of atrocious on all fronts. I mean, to struggle that much just for a par is kind of ridiculous. All right, so this is another 8-iron. that I actually hit pretty solidly, but I hit it so solid it went through the wind and it just stayed right on its line, which was left of the green because it was a strong left to right wind, as you can see. But then I end up hitting a really, really great putt here. I even kind of surprised myself. Look at it, it just catches that slope and it looks like, oh, it's going to stop. And it just kept on going. Nearly hold it for a birdie. That would have been incredibly awesome. I do this little fist pump thing, and I go, that was great, like to myself, and there are two women laughing at me poolside outside their house. Okay, now on this hole, I'm going to pause it really quick. On this hole, I hit it extremely well. Unfortunately, you have to play it really far out right. Like, you have to go right at that right bunker to avoid going near the water. And I just thought for some reason I wasn't going to get there, which is dumb. It's only like 270 to the water, and I wasn't really dead into the teeth of the wind. So I definitely could get it there, and this is what happened. Yeah. This is not good. So this is me going through a series of self-loathing and questioning myself. Just a lot of self-doubt. Am I going to punch it? Am I going to go for it? Okay, maybe I'll just dig in here, just try to pull my groin and try to put a swing on it. I probably shouldn't do it. God damn it. I guess I will just punch it right on out there. Solid 25, 30-yard punch. This one I actually hit terrifically. Once again, another 8-iron. Just hit this big roping kind of draw. Started at the right side of the green, ended up here at about, I don't know, 10 feet, maybe 9 feet. And then I just did this. Painful. Would have been right in the heart, just did not hit it. Could not get the speed of these greens down. It's my fault for not putting before I went out. Okay, so on this one, put a decent swing on a drive, and I end up, I think, having about 135-ish, and I take a pitching wedge here, and watch this. I just straight pull this. I double-crossed myself. I did not hit a cut. I just hit a straight shot, maybe even a draw, and ended up out of frame, apparently. The camera must have moved. I have no idea what happened here. Usually I'm better at finding myself in the camera than this, but that was atrocious. Then I hit a really solid putt, and I said, screw it, get it there. Really make sure you get it there and through the wind. Yes. Well done. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. This is a par 5, straight downwind. I ended up like murdering this drive, at least for me. This probably went about 330 or something like that. And like I said, it was soaking wet. And for it to get to this point, it's amazing. Once again, this is an 8-iron from probably about 170, 180 yards. I hit it terrible. Once again, over the top, pulled it, and caught some green. It kind of just spun off or like plugged there. And so it was not the best attempt at an eagle putt, but it was okay. As you can see, if I had hit it just a little bit harder, that wind would have pushed it, because that wind was strongly affecting all of the putts that I hit, just all day. It was moving at feet on some holes in some cases. Pull this drive, I mean, I hit it well, but pull it, then I totally whiffed that, completely whiffed. I mean, I was only like 115 yards away, and I whiffed it to where I still had like 40, 50 yards. One of my better wedge shots of the day, not going to lie, and this is the best it was. That's as good as it was getting today. And look at this one. It looks like I'm just going to miss it way left, but that was the break that I knew was coming, and it just didn't come soon enough, and ended up making another bogey. Yet another bogey. Okay, that drive, I yell right there because I'm so far left, I'm almost in these yards. I try to just get one up near the green, and I sort of do that. I kind of get underneath it, as you can see, kind of lunge at it. I end up about 30 yards short, and I hit a really great flop shot. If it wasn't that windy, this ball probably would have been within 6 feet or something like that, because you can kind of see it land there, and then it just kept rolling because that wind kept pushing it. Now, this is one of the few really solid putts that I had of the day where I kind of felt like my normal self. You know, sometimes even during a bad round, you'll have one or two shots that kind of bring you back to life, and this was one of those. Just right in the heart, no doubt, perfect speed. This one got really quick with it, right to left wind. It's just solid duck hook. That's me screaming at myself. Once again, I'm aiming way right because I am way left, and get underneath it because this grass is very inconsistent and very difficult to swing in. And check this out. I left the audio in just so you could experience this. This is pretty rough. I'm trying to just lay up from a layup. Just give myself 100 yards. Ah! Ah! Oh, it hurt so bad. I mean, I laughed it off. I mean, I laughed about that for probably a solid 5 minutes, but because I knew it probably looked stupid as shit. But that hurt really, really bad. If you have curly hair, if you've ever had that happen to you, that hurts. Now, this one, I completely just dig into the ground. Yeah, like that was a wrist breaker right there. But here's the thing. I hit that ball to about 6 feet to the northeast of that pin, and it spun probably 35 feet into that wind. I was trying to hit a 56, kind of a punch into that wind, and that's what we got. Decent putt as far as speed. The line was just off from the get-go. I thought it was going to break right to left up that hill. I should have known better. They don't break that much going uphill, and I should have played for that. This was a really solid swing. I kind of just had a good swing thought over it and felt way more controlled. I think you can even tell that I just felt better over that ball. But then I proceed to immediately fuck it up. So this ball, even though it was with a 4-iron spun back like 8 feet, I hit this putt, and I think I just blacked out when I hit this. I think that's me just going like, stop it, stop. What are you doing, you know? Then I hit this one, and just to tease myself and make it worse, oh, lips out. On the high side, even with the wind in my favor, does not go in. Bogey again. This hole, I have a weird history with this hole. I seem to hit my drives really well here, but I caught this one a little bit on the toe and pulled it, and it hit a tree and knocked it straight down. And on this like 300-something yard hole, I still had like 190 yards. So I take a 4-iron expecting a flyer out of this and hit this beautiful bullet past the camera. And it just luckily kind of skips on a puddle, no joke, and like runs up onto the green. The puddle gave it no spin, and so it got past the hole somehow. Wasn't the worst putt there. The wind pushed that. That is a left to right putt that the wind made go right to left. And I don't know why I didn't even bother filming the par putt. A dog was barking at me right here. That was kind of distracting, but I hit a decent tee shot. Now you were about to see the worst shot I hit all day. Seriously, watch this. That ball goes out of frame, but ends up hooking 40 yards. At least 40, 45 yards from right to left. So that creek is 20 yards left of that pin. Once again, somehow hit a pretty good flop shot. You can kind of see it land there about 12, 15 feet away. It just stopped dead into that wind. And one of my best putts of the day, right there. Felt like I kind of was getting a little bit of my speed down, but only on certain putts. That shot was not very well hit. I kind of caught it on the heel with a right to left wind, so it saved it, made it go straight. This one, my camera battery literally is about to die, which is what I put up there, that little annotation. So this is my Canon camera, my T3i. And I'm having to just get the ball in focus, so I apologize if I'm not quite in focus. Okay drive there, hit it down the middle of the fairway, hit a 5-wood from about 260 to right here because we were straight downwind. I hit this great off this really, really hard pan lie just next to the bunker. I nipped it perfectly there, lands 15 feet short, and just won't stop. You can see me go like, well, nothing I can do. There you go. Now this is agonizing. All day, baby. All damn day. Painful. I mean, that just feels like a nut punch when you do that 3 or 4 times in a round. You just haven't made anything. This one, I give a pretty good go. I just kind of try to let it rip. And same thing I did as a par 5 on a par 5 earlier. And left myself about 130 yards. Like I said, the ball is just kind of like hitting and stopping. I pulled this a little bit, but I managed to actually catch a little bit of the green. So I kind of got away with it. You can see me kind of tilting to the right, hoping it'll just catch a piece. It barely does. Just barely. And in one of my top 5 putts of the day, here we go. Can he do it? Will he make this putt to break 80 on this horrible, atrocious day? Will he do it? Better than most. No, he won't. Of course not. You can't have that much confidence leaving the golf course, man. Somehow we made it through, folks. That round was terrible.